I traced the swirls of his hair with my half-open eyes. They were like waves I wanted to be engulfed in. I wished to be swept up in the rhythm of them, washed away into an exquisite oblivion. We were cocooned on the bed by an energy field created by the past, kept in there by our desire to remain in the present. We didn't need her.
The mid-afternoon sun illuminated half his face. I lay in the shadow, observing the dust particles orbit his head. He reflected warmth onto me, into me. My eyes, my nostrils, my throat, my heart. This moment was our universe. The ugliness of sorrow dissolved in his company. Melancholia became a faded photograph buried in a box. I'm in love with you. No. Something didn't feel right. Who is thinking this? I stared at him, drinking his tea calmly as the cocoon shattered, cold air sweeping in. The light couldn't warm me now. I was frozen. I was a cube inside a glass of reality. I didn't want to face it, but it was facing me. It was swallowing me whole. I lay on my back and opened my eyes to the sterile white ceiling. I scanned it for any sign of stain, crack, blemish. Nothing. Sterile. I needed for there to be something wrong with it, something to make me feel I belonged, as I now felt an overwhelming sense of intrusion. I don't know, escaped my mouth. I didn't even think, but when my brain caught up, it screamed. I silenced it. Something had shifted my feelings in this place, and I loathed it for intruding. But I didn't push it away. It's okay if you don't want to come. Don't say that. My body curled up. Don't be reasonable like that. Make me. I'm in love with you. No. Something didn't feel right. Who is thinking this? I stared at him, drinking his tea calmly as the cocoon shattered, cold air sweeping in. The light couldn't warm me now. I was frozen. I was a cube inside a glass of reality. I didn't want to face it, but it was facing me. It was swallowing me whole. The outside world was waiting for me, and I needed to return to it. I desperately wanted to stay in this room, but the memories of everything I had been hiding from were pulling me back into the shadows, away from the sunshine, the heat of his skin, the turquoise of his eyes, the waves in his hair. My eyes opened to see the full illumination of the fantasy I had created. It no longer bathed in the light, but was exposed by it. And in this new light, I understood that the man standing before me, whose sweat had dried on my skin and altered my scent, was probably equally as naive as me. In thinking we had the power to he noticed the defeat in my posture as I stared into the grain of the hard wooden floor, feeling the weight of my childishness, defrosting from hypnosis, sobering from the seduction. Raised my head. I stood. I walked. I wanted to kiss him, hold him, be held and consumed by him. Forget about this ice storm that had ambushed my mind, but my trajectory was involuntary, and I found myself in the bathroom, facing in the spotless mirror, a man who felt like a boy, a man